Hello, my friends. It's your host, Phil Larson, and this is your Motivational High Five on Significance. Let's do this. Welcome back. Your Motivational High Five is meant to be bite-sized and to the point. You're going to hear from guests every once in a while. You're going to hear my thoughts on what the guest has said. And it's meant to be shareable. If you find this or anything that's said here or in one of the other episodes helpful to you, let someone know about it. If you say, hey, this doesn't apply to me right now, but I know a friend, a really close friend who's going through some things and this could be really helpful, send it to them. We are on all the major podcast platforms. Whatever one you're on, if you leave a rating, I will see it. So leave a rating, leave some feedback, especially if you like it. And it does help the rankings and search when people look for new podcasts. So thanks for your positive reviews. Appreciate it. Today we're going to hear from a friend, Carmen. She's been a long time Your Motivational High Five podcast listener, and we've gotten to know each other over the last couple of years, especially. We're connected on Facebook, and I see all that she is involved in. It's a lot. She does so much, and it's all positive. It's all inspiring, and I'm like, man, she needs to be on the team. So she agreed to be on the team before even sending in a recording. That's very brave of her. She comes across to me as a brave human. And before we get into that, before you hear a little bit more about her, I want to say that this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is online mobile counseling. It's pretty awesome. Just sign up and they will work real quickly to get you matched with a counselor that fits your needs. And these counselors have just such great reviews. If counseling is something that is a little nerve-wracking to you, that's understandable. I get it. I've been there. The best counselors know to go at your speed. And they know that it takes some time to go deep, and they're willing to be patient to get there. And if this podcast helps you go, I'm starting to see some of the problems in my life, some of the negative narratives that I've been telling myself. That's really good. That's a good start. And the next step is professional counseling. If you use the special link from this podcast, which is betterhelp.com/YMH5, use the number 5, you'll get 10% off your first month. The link is in the show notes. Again, that's BetterHelp with a P, betterhelp.com/the letters YMH and the number 5, and get 10% off your first month. Last time I promise, betterhelp.com/YMH5. Carmen is a mother of 2. She says she is the wife to the man of her dreams who she met in 5th grade. She's been a K through 12 arts educator for 15 years and serves as a worship leader at her church. She recently started a small business that creates inspiring murals and window art that brings people together all over her city. She's a Renaissance person. She does a bunch of things. She even writes songs and has released an album on streaming platforms. I recommend to go check it out. It's good. Just search Carmen Callender with 2 L's. And without further ado, here she is.
Hi, my name is Carmen, and I've been an educator for 15 years. Wow, can't believe I'm approaching 2 decades. The word that I am focusing on in this season is significance. When I think of this word, I think about how everything that I strive to do and everyone that I strive to interact with, I have a purpose of applying significance to those interactions and those actions. There's such an uptick in being intentional with how we live, and I'm grateful for it. I think significance and intentionality are quite related. If something is significant to you, it means something. It has great value. It has intention. You might care for it more than something that's not significant to you. One of the things that I've been gifted to be able to do through the experiences of actually feeling very insignificant is recognize that trait in those around me. And as a teacher, as a mother, as a friend, as someone who's active in ministry, as someone who's active in the community, painting murals, and as a songwriter and singer and worship leader, there's so many roles to fill, so many different hats that I wear. I realize that I do many of these things, really all of these things, out of significance, with a desire to make other people aware that they matter, they are someone important. And because I think I also want to remind myself that I am significant. See, when I was growing up, I was never enough of anything cool or desirable for any, group or clique. I was never thin enough, never curvy enough, not white enough, black enough, Hispanic enough. I wasn't this enough or that enough. And because of that, I was just kind of in that group of outcasts and outsiders who were a little out of the ordinary when it came to what people called normal, or whatever boxes my peers tried to put people in. And I'm going to be honest, I'm grateful for those times. I'm grateful for those seasons of rejection. I'm grateful for every time I've been rejected, because each of those pain points allowed me to look more deeply into who I am and who I've been created to be, and have my own intrinsic significance. Do I think that I'm enough of whatever I am to reach for a goal, to try something hard, to carve my new path, to leave a toxic work environment? Am I significant enough to try again, or am I just going to stay in failure? Am I significant enough to receive love and receive the blessings that my friends or my family, my husband may give me? Do I accept them, or do I inwardly reject them? Significance is quite a concept. When we apply it to who we are and all the things that we strive to do, it makes things that much more rich and enjoyable. As a mom and someone who's working full-time with lots of projects all around and on the side, I sometimes get really, really overwhelmed with the day-to-day operations of parenting, like cooking or cleaning. And I just kind of found myself not enjoying some of these things, which are truly blessings. So the other day, I actually attended a sort of food tasting cooking class with nutritious, healthy meals, and it re-energized the desire to just enjoy cooking. Something that I remember looking forward to when I was engaged to my husband. Oh, I can't wait to be married and to have a nice meal ready when you get home, and to have, something for our kids to enjoy. That was something I literally was looking forward to. It was significant to me, and it had become more of a chore and something that I felt rushed and stressed about. So the other day, I just stopped and I said, I want to make a nice meal. I want to enjoy the process of cooking this meal. I don't want to take shortcuts. I don't want something that's quick and dumped into a pan and stuck in the oven and instantly ready. I want this to be a process. Significance reminds us that even the mundane things, even the inconvenient things, they're still meaningful. My son, who's 5, said to me today, Mom, it's good to take shortcuts. And I said, well, sometimes. Because sometimes when you go the long way, you actually learn something that you wouldn't have learned if you had taken the shortcut. So I encourage you, friend, to stop and think today about how you can apply some significance to what you do. When you send that email, how can you make it significant? When you call that family member, that friend, how can it be significant? Not just something that you do because it's in your calendar. When you take a walk or hit that workout, how can you make it significant? Why are you working out? Why are you going for a walk? What is the significance to what you're doing? What's the lasting impression you want to make, even if it seems temporary? Today, I had a book study, Reading the Purpose-Driven Life, and one of the comments that I shared was that every action, every interaction that we make leaves a ripple that reaches far beyond what we can see. Just like when we throw a pebble into a pond and the ripples just kind of grow and they keep going and going far beyond what we might even think or imagine. That is our life, friends. That is the truth of our life. Every part of how we live has a ripple effect that will far surpass our lifetime. My hope is that we would live intentionally, thoughtfully, compassionately, by using significance in all that we do.
Thank you, Carmen. Are you picking up what she's putting down? She even the way that she talks, everything is intentional. It is on purpose. It is what she described at the very beginning. She put two words together that I really enjoyed, was applying significance. To her, significance isn't just a word, isn't just sometimes a feeling that, oh, that was important. It was kind of a verb, like something to do. It is applying significance. And one of the things that she was saying that is motivation for her to do this, to live this way, is how she experienced growing up in significance. And I appreciated her vulnerability and the way that she made this personal, the way that she was received or interacted with by her peers really informs how she lives today. And she has gained an ability to recognize that in others, the importance that others feel significant, to recognize how others might be feeling insignificant. And what a beautiful thing when we use our pain and suffering, our insignificance as a superpower, to now be able to recognize that struggle in others and see the importance to bring it to the table in interaction with others. And she was very honest with that. Doing this, living this way, she gets a reminder that she is significant. And as she begins to recognize this in others, and as she begins to be reminded of this in herself, she brings to the table this revelation that significance is intrinsic. I like this definition of intrinsic, belonging naturally. It is a part of you, no matter what. Truly, our ability to be in the world and interact within the world and with people and change their brains and offer love and receive love, even though the fact that maybe you leave a not so positive impact, still that impact, leaving an impression on someone, is significant. Significance is intrinsic. You are powerful. She talked about cooking and how at one time in her life, like, that was very important to her. And it lost its significance and she wanted to get that back. And what I'm reminded by the way that she approached reintroducing this love into her life, by making it significant again, is by being intentional and mindful and reigniting that desire within her. It kind of reminds me of my current life in a way. Stay with me. I love that Carmen loves to cook, and I love it if you do too. My wife and I hate to cook, but we wanted to make mealtime significant. We did. And this was all at the leading of my wife. I'm so glad that she did this, but she said, is there a way? How can there be a way that instead of just finding food at a random time and eating it in front of the TV, can we come together as a family at the dinner table? I just had to look at the clock to see if it was dinner time. At the dinner table with our son and have this important time together. Well, because we hate to cook, but we wanted to eat something. We wanted meals to be intentional. We signed up for a subscription box of already prepared meals that you just shove in the oven for 15 minutes. But we wanted to invest in good food and we wanted to invest in quality time together. So we bought trivia cards, we bought conversation starters, we got some choose your own adventure books, and our 5-year-old son is enjoying time at the dinner table away from electronics, and we're sharing a meal together. It's become significant again. So I'm grateful that she brought that up so that I can recognize that in my own life. I just kind of didn't really recognize that until right now. It's become very significant, this thing in our life that lost its significance. And I love this thing that she said. Significance reminds us that even the mundane things, even the inconvenient things, they're still meaningful. In the conversation with her son, which he sounds a lot like my son, like they're trying to figure out the world. They're little scientists, like they're figuring things out, they're testing things, and they're throwing out statements that, yeah, I think I figured this out about life. And she recognized that conversation to make it significant. Hey, it's not all black and white. There's some gray in here too. Because when we take the shortcut, we miss the lesson and we miss the experience of getting there. And finally, the last thing she said that I really enjoyed that really puts us in perspective, kind of in a legacy perspective, is what's the lasting impression you want to make? Let that inform your significance, how you interact with life. What are you going to make significant in your life? And I think about my childhood where my parents made dinner time significant. And I don't remember all the individual experiences there, but it fostered communication that I continue to have and love that I continue to have for my family. I really believe that. And this time with our son, we don't get back. It's going by way too fast. What's the lasting impression you want to make? Significance. And friends, as we come to the end of this episode, as we take on and trust in and hope for the scientific research of neuroplasticity, how the wiring in our brain, as we've talked over and over again, can have a significant impact on our beliefs about our significance, how important we think we are. We recognize the significance of that. And in doing so, we disrupt, maybe we meet the negative narrative and we disrupt it with a positive mantra, a meaningful one, an intentional one, a significant one. And as we've talked in the past, the neurons in our brain are not connecting. They're not hardwired in. They become connected, yes, but by electricity, by our beliefs, by the words and the things that we say, and we can disrupt it with significant narratives that counteract the negative ones. And so we do this by finding a reflection of ourselves in a mirror or whatever, in your phone, in some still glassy water. And while looking at ourselves, as hard as this is to do sometimes, that's the disruption part. We bring up a new, significant narrative. So when you find a reflection of yourself, say this: I am significant and can bring meaning to all the areas of my life. Friends, you are, and it may not feel it at times. That's okay. You're human. That's normal. But sometimes just bring it down to bite size. If you can see how something you did altered an attitude or something in someone else's life, for better or for worse. I have a lot of worse examples. The life you live is truly significant. You are significant. You leave an impact. You are powerful. And when you see that, then the next choice is up to you. Are you going to make it meaningful? It starts with you. BetterHelp is online counseling done right. If you are looking to get help and you want to do it from the comfort of your own home, check out BetterHelp.com/YMH5. That's help, H-E-L-P, BetterHelp.com/YMH5, the number 5. I know I've shared on this podcast many times how important counseling has been in my own life. And in fact, it was a huge part of the lessons I learned that helped launch this podcast to begin with. So get your counseling on with BetterHelp. Using that URL will get you 10% off your first month. Again, that is BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, BetterHelp.com/YMH5, the number 5.